All right, welcome back to SportsLine, everybody. Virgil Herring, PGA teaching professional, radio talk show host, motivational speaker. Just an all-around great guy. He's here with us in studio tonight. It's so great to have you here, man.
Well, thank you. Thank you
and if you're just joining us, if he looks familiar, Virgil does those great golf tips for us over on Sunday Sports Center throughout the summer. We look forward to those every Sunday night. Steve Laban and I just have a ball watching you. And you look like you have so much fun shooting those.
I try to make it entertaining.
Yeah.
Because sometimes golf doesn't appear entertaining on TV, but I certainly try to bring a smile to people's face.
And what you do is you relate it to everyday things. And that's so important, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. I try to teach golf and give you swing thoughts that have nothing to do with golf.
Yeah.
And things that you can relate to that you've either done well before in your life or something that you can't forget. And to me, that's the creative part. It's art to me because I never know what I'm going to say that I've never said before that's going to impact somebody and make a difference in how they swing. So, I mean, to me, as my job is to make it not golf when you're there.
Right. You know, pretend there's a fence and all that kind of stuff.
Right. That's exactly right.
615-737-7767 is the number to call if you have a question for Virgil Herring or want to make a comment on the state of golf today. All right, let's get into it. The Open Championship. First of all, why can't we call it the British Open anymore? A quick story. Last year, I was working that week of the British Open, and I kept saying the British Open on the air, and somebody emailed me, very nastily, by the way. If you're watching, I was very hurt by that. He basically said, it's not the British Open, it's the Open Championship. Say it correctly. Well, clear this up for us. Is it the British Open? Is it the Open Championship? Is it both? Is it neither? What is it?
I think once it became Tiger Woods era and it became a world spectacle, more so than it was a niche sport. There was the Masters, and then you got the U.S. Open.
Right.
And then it started to make its place, and they needed to do something other than call it the British Open. So to call it the Open Championship, it was the world major championship. So that it's the Open, like open to everybody.
Everybody, right.
And everybody can qualify for it, and everybody can play in it. They wanted to separate it from Britain, not because there was anything wrong with Britain. It was just they wanted it to stand out alone as, well, you can't say it's just the Masters. Well, we're going to say it's just the Open Championship to stand alone. And I get it.
That makes sense.
It's all right.
All right. So obviously everybody talking about Jordan Spieth coming into this weekend, won the Masters, won the U.S. Open, won last week. A lot of people thought, he should have went over across the pond a little earlier to work on his game, but decided to stick around, played in last week's event. This is a big deal if this guy can win this and be three-quarters of the way to the calendar year Grand Slam. What do you think his chances are?
His chances are very good. This would be an unprecedented happening since 1953. Ben Hogan won the first three, but back then you had to take a boat to England to play, and by the time he got back to the United States, the PGA Championship had already been held.
Wow.
So he never had a chance to complete the Grand Slam. He's the only person that's ever won the first three. So if he wins, this will put it in a Grand Slam format that we've never seen before. Tiger won 4 in a row.
Right, but not in the calendar year.
Not in the calendar year, not the first three.
Yeah.
So if Jordan Spieth wins the Open Championship, we're talking about this will put him past where Tiger was in 2001, which is pretty hard to fathom, to be honest with you. And there's every reason to think that he should win. He's #1 in scoring. He's in the top 7 in all of the scoring categories of par 3, par 4, and par 5. Yeah, that's really strong.
That's high end.
Most people don't realize that his numbers are better than most people think. He's just a good putter and he's an all-around player. He is actually a dominant player except length.
Okay.
He hits it very close to the hole. He's a very good putter. He's an unbelievable up and down player.
But he just doesn't kill it off the tee, is what you're saying?
He doesn't kill it off the tee. That means he doesn't have the appeal that Bubba Watson, Rory McIlroy, Dustin Johnson have, because he doesn't bomb it.
Right.
But the numbers show that it's a coin toss between McIlroy and Spieth and who's the best player in the world. Even though right now McIlroy's #1, Spieth is statistically every bit as dominant as Rory McIlroy.
I'm really bummed that McIlroy's not going to be competing this week, and I was hoping for a back nine showdown on Sunday between those two. I mean, I think that would have been just as compelling as a Phil Mickelson Tiger Woods back nine duel.
I think every bit or more.
Yeah.
And the thing that saddens me is that every time the Open Championship is held at St. Andrews, the greatest player of that generation wins. You know, Arnie, Jack, Nick Faldo, Tiger twice.
Yeah.
Now, Oosthuizen won, and he's an awesome player, and he wasn't the best in his generation. And John Daly won there, and you could argue he's one of the most talented players ever, but you wouldn't call him the greatest golfer ever. But it generally brings out the cream of the crop. I believe that McIlroy would have won if he'd stayed healthy because he draws the golf ball well, which is an important factor at St. Andrews. He started to play this golf course well a couple of years ago, and he really has done well at the Dunhill Championship, which is played there late in the fall on the European Tour. I just think that it would be in Rory's time, but now it's not. Off to the side he goes. It doesn't make a difference what we think.
Right.
Now it's Jordan Spieth's to lose, in my opinion.
Wow. All right, let's take our first call tonight. You ready?
Yes, I am.
All right, this guy's quite a character. It's my frenemy. He's not really my friend. He's not really my enemy. He's my frenemy. My buddy Philip on line one. Philip, good evening, sir. How are you tonight?
I'm doing phenomenal.
Well, it's great to have you on. Say hi to Virgil Herring.
Have I missed the Tiger stuff already?
No, we're gonna get it. We're gonna get heavy into Tiger here real soon. But
come on, stop with that. Jordan Spieth is a grown man on the golf course.
He is
grown man. Hey, serious question. For your guest here. Why is it that I can go out at the crack of dawn by myself at my favorite golf course, no cheating, no mulligans, and shoot a low 80s? But when I go to that same golf course and I get in the money game and I'm teeing off at 11 o'clock with a bunch of old dudes who are hitting from the yellows and I'm still hitting from the whites, I shoot in the mid to high 90s. I know it's mental.
Yeah.
But what do I do to stop that? I can't seem to stop that, and it drives me absolutely crazy.
Well, I think the answer to that question starts with you have to have a game plan of how you play that hole, each hole, one shot at a time. And I would imagine that you struggle with a one shot at a time mentality. You get a little bit ahead of yourself. It sounds to me that because you love it so much that you get ahead of yourself. You already see yourself winning before you actually have to go through the motions of winning, or you see yourself losing again before you've even had a chance to lose or win. And I get a chance to deal with this a lot. It's a performance anxiety situation where you're so nervous about the outcome before it actually happens that interferes with the simple act of doing something that you've known how to do for a long time, which is play this golf course.
And plus, when there's other people around, you're competing. You don't want to look bad in front of the other competitors, right?
He probably spends a little too much time being concerned about what other people think, and there is where that's where you start to see the wheat from the chaff. Even on the PGA Tour, the people that are killers, so what I call killers, the ones that do not care about what you think. Jim Furyk comes to mind with that.
Good example.
They don't care what you think, and they're dangerous. But people that care about what their golf swing looks like, or care how good they drive it, or how good they putt it, or whatever, those are the ones that when the microscope turns on them, they're like, oh my, I hope I make this one. I think that's what happened to Dustin Johnson at the U.S. Open. I think Dustin Johnson had the putt to win, and he hit it, and he didn't hit a bad putt, and the greens weren't in great shape, but nevertheless, he hit it, didn't hit a bad putt. But when he hit a 4-foot putt coming back, what he said to himself before he hit it is, just don't miss this blanking putt, Dustin. Okay, so roll that back to 1999 when Tiger Woods won the PGA Championship in Medina, the year that Sergio Garcia hit that great shot around the tree. Okay, on the 17th hole, Tiger had an 8-foot putt that broke pretty sharply from left to right. What Tiger said as he stepped over that putt is, my mom could make this putt. So a totally different mindset. And that's why Tiger is going to be one of the greatest champions ever to play this game. And Dustin Johnson is going to be one of those people that you wonder why he didn't. And it's all wrapped up in that attitude and mindset. So it just tells me that you're ahead of yourself and you have a hard time sticking to a game plan, especially when you don't execute one of the shots that you expected to execute. So stick with your game plan, work on your short game so that you don't have to be perfect, and you'll have a much better chance of shooting the scores you deserve to shoot.
Got all that, Philip?
I did. What is so weird to me is, and obviously now golf is my game. Baseball used to be my game. Back in the days, and when we're talking up to college years, I was at my best in baseball when the pressure was the highest. But now, in my later years in golf, you said it. I'm thinking about what people are watching. Are they going to think that my golf swing looks stupid?
Yeah.
Why is it that I could hit a 95-mile-an-hour fastball with 1,000 people screaming in the fans or in the stands, but when I'm standing there by myself and there's three...
Wait. First of all, Philip, you're going to get us to believe that you could hit 95-mile-an-hour cheese?
They're still.
Philip, are you sitting there... You're trying to get us to believe that you could hit 95-mile-an-hour cheese? Is that what you're telling me?
Absolutely. Back in the day, John, I could.
All right.
And I was better in a pressure situation than I was at practice. It's not that I didn't practice hard,
right?
But when I was a different animal standing in the plate trying to hit a baseball. Now I'm trying to hit a golf ball that's sitting there perfectly still, just waiting for me to strike it, and I'm a nervous wreck because there's three dudes standing there watching me.
All right, man. Hey, thanks for the call. We appreciate it, man.
The answer to that question is simple. He was great at a reaction sport, and golf is a responsive sport, which technique matters significantly more. The fundamentals matter significantly more than to react to a moving ball. It's much easier to react to a moving ball than to respond to a stationary or a static ball. And I see it all the time.
All right, time for our second break of the evening. We're going to come back and talk more about the Open Championships. Plus, if you have a question about your golf game like our friend Philip did, give us a call, 737-7767. We're back with more. Virgil Herring, PGA teaching professional, live in studio. We're back after this.